Hey, brother, it's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about some special teams players that I believe are going to thrive under Antonio Pierce and Tom McMahon for the Silver and Black this upcoming season. We talk a lot of times about the offensive side of the football. You talk a lot about the defensive side of the football. But let's face it, if you want to be able to hoist that Super Bowl Lombardi trophy, you have to be complete on all three levels, and that's very, very important. So for this show, these are going to be where my real ones are at, and if you're watching a special team show, I want to know down below with a, hey, brother. Let's go right now to the next name, or the first name on today's show. It is Daniel Carlson. I was told I have to do this if I'm going to do this show. That just looks weird with no audio. Daniel Carlson, though, is place kicker, and I expect him to be better this season than what he was last season from a field goal standpoint, because he did come off a little bit of a struggling year compared to the numbers that he put up in 2022. But the reason why I'm putting Daniel Carlson on this list is because with the new kickoff return rules, you heard Tom McMahon speak about how important it is to have a kicker that can pin people like at the 1, to pin people at the 19, to put them on both sides of the football. It totally changes it. I'm telling y'all right now, Daniel Carlson, what he's best at is doing exactly that. He is a very accurate kicker as well, but Carlson is really going to help us out for special teams this season, even more than he did last year. To make sure you never miss any videos here from the Raiders Report, Jeremy is telling me to tell you, number 1, hit that subscribe button. He's then telling me to click the notification bell. It looks like a bell. Maybe some of you probably can't find a bell. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like this right here. See that bell? You just click that, and you select all. That way, every single time I drop a video, every time Jeremy and I put something out, you don't miss anything. It's like a booty call. You got it? Hopefully. We'll find out soon. Let's go to the next name here on our special teams candidates that are going to thrive this season. Dylan Laube. He is a running back, but he's going to be the specialist that I do think that the Raiders are going to use it for kick returns, that are going to use potentially as a punt returner. I think more kick returns is where he's going to be at, though. And look at some of the numbers that he put up last season with the University of New Hampshire. I get it, small school, but those are still some pretty damn impressive numbers if you ask me. On top of that, I know some people don't really care about what Robert Saleh has to say, New York Jets head coach, but Saleh did say that he anticipates his football team to be somewhere around 100 returns this season, where last season the leader in the NFL was the Green Bay Packers with 31. Kick return is going to be a big part of this upcoming season, and I think it's one of the reasons why they went out and got Laube. Ameer Abdullah, you're on the hot seat, my friend. Who do you think, though, is going to make a bigger impact this upcoming season? Because when I think about special teams, these are the two players that I am the most intrigued by from a punt returning standpoint, from a kick returning standpoint. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. I want you to scroll on down and give me your answer. Type 11 for Tre Tucker. Type 23 for Dylan Laube. I'm going to end up going here with Tre Tucker because I do think Tucker has the opportunity to be a part of punt returns and to be part of kick returns. The Raiders last season had DeAndre Carter, who is still a free agent at the time that I am making this video. But guess what? They didn't bring him back, and that's even a Telesco guy from their days back at the Chargers. The reason is, in my opinion, Tre Tucker. Tre Tucker had his ability. He showed it to you back when he was playing college football at Cincinnati. He was a kick returner. He did punt return like 3 or 4 or 5 times. But his explosiveness, his acceleration, and he's also a really tough guy. Like, one of the things that I am a sucker for, I'll admit, is when football players also wrestled. Tucker also was a wrestler, which I do think helps him out. And you have to have that, like, warrior mentality, that toughness to be a kick returner, a punt returner in the NFL and college football, because let's face it, it's a horrifying position to be in. But his numbers, as you can see up on screen, 2 touchdowns, averaging close to 25 yards per. Hell of a returner then, and I think he's going to be a hell of a returner this upcoming season also for the Raiders. And, like, what's the best part about special teams is I do think Laube and Tucker could have a fun little battle between them. What's really going to be interesting is what happens with Ameer Abdullah. Now, remember, y'all, I got 2 more names coming up here on our special team show, but we do have a special offer available to you. If you need a brand new Raiders hat, whether you need a woman's hat, a man's hat, snapback, fitted, trucker hat, I'm talking any color imaginable, we got hundreds, and that's not an exaggeration. Hundreds of Raiders hats available to you. Where? At that link down below. If you're like, Mitch, I can't go to chatsports.com/Raiders hats. That's probably a you thing. I would also say that I was nice enough to put it down for you in the comments and in the description of today's show. So if you're watching, you're like, yeah, I could use a new Raider hat. Guess what? The link's going to be available for you. No more excuses if you're not rocking one. Let's go to the next name here. It's Amari Burney at linebacker. And one of the things that I'm really going to be looking for Burney is I think if he ends up making this team, it is mainly on special teams. But with these new kick return rules, with him being a hell of an athlete, long, lanky athlete, and then you look at the linebacker core that the Raiders have, I just am picturing the Raiders rolling with Tommy Eichenberg in terms of being like the more true middle linebacker. They have Divine Diablo, you have Robert Spillane, but then that puts you in a situation with, all right, where exactly happens with Burney? To me, Burney ends up making this team over Luke Masterson because of that special teams value and because Burney's one of the better athletes at the linebacker position for this organization. So because of all of the new special teams rules, because of his limited use on the actual defensive side of the football, I'm telling y'all right now, he's going to be a really, really big player for the Silver and Black on special teams this upcoming season. This next name is one of me, I'm going to be real. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, but based on what Tom McMahon said about things that they look for in the brand new kick return rules, he kept mentioning speed, athletic ability, and length. MJ Devonshire, the 7th-round rookie out of Pittsburgh that the Raiders took this season, somebody that we had as probably a 5th, 6th-round pick overall, did fall in the draft a little bit, but here's the thing. He's going to get an opportunity to shine on special teams because he's athletic. He's still very raw from a corner standpoint that you're looking for, but his opportunity to get on the field and where he's going to shine right away is on special teams. Now, like, I could have thrown DeCamerion Richardson in this mix. I could have threw Jacorian Bennett in this mix, and Bennett was another player that I really, really thought of. I just foresee DeCamerion Richardson having more of an impact on defense, less on special teams. And then I also think that they're going to give Bennett an opportunity to get out there. Plus, it's his second year where I see Jacorian have a better year than MJ Devonshire just from a defensive standpoint, which means then out of Jacorian Bennett, MJ Devonshire, DeCamerion Richardson, all very athletic, all very long, lanky corners. Who's the one that's going to have the least opportunities on the actual defensive side? My bet is Devonshire, but I do think he's going to have a really good impact on special teams because of his athletic ability and everything he else brings to the table. He's a tough mother effer. So who did I leave off my list? I want you all to be real with me. Let me know down below. And if anybody is curious of, Mitch, what are you doing this week? Well, I am actually at a bachelor party this week. Jeremy and I spent some extra time last week filming these videos a little bit late. So shout out to Jeremy. Throw some chugs down below because if it wasn't for him, we would not have been able to get these videos done late. But seriously, if you want to know what I'm doing, if you want to see what's going on at my bachelor party, not my bachelor party, but my buddy's bachelor party, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. And if any monumental breaking news happens from June 5th to June 9th, Jeremy Chugs is going to have you covered here on the show. Unless, we go out and sign Xavier Howard, then damn it, I'm pulling up probably from a golf course. All I'm saying, though, is the really, really important week to give Jeremy a follow on Twitter at Jeremy Chugs.